Hello everyone, my name is LaPrecious and welcome to my channel, Let's Talk with LaPrecious. So today I will be doing a story time about the time that I lived in Las Vegas, Nevada. But before I continue on with the story, I want to thank you all for watching my The Bobby DeBarge story review, which has now reached almost 3,000 views. I was so happy and so excited to see those numbers go up, people subscribing to my channel and people commenting and whatnot. I want to thank you all for watching that video. Thank you all for subscribing and thank you all for loving my content. And I do know that some of the facts that I stated in the video were not 100% accurate, but I was sleepy, I was tired, and I did the best that I could do. But overall, I'm happy that to those of you who liked the video, I'm happy that you liked it. To those of you who subscribed to my channel, hello, welcome to my channel. And, I'm just really happy that my channel just grew, in such a short amount of time and that a lot of people really like that video. And I hope that you guys like a couple more of my videos, if not all of them. Okay, so here's how the story goes with my living in Las Vegas story. So back in the summer of 2018, I had reconnected with my father's side of the family. To those of you who don't know, I had family members who lived in Las Vegas, Nevada. So, long story short, I grew up in a single parent home. My father did not raise me, did not take care of me, and I only saw him in different intervals in my life. As time went on, he and my mom stopped automatic contact. There was a lot of things that went on in the background that my brother and I were not a part of, that my brother and I didn't know. And we only heard about different increments from talking to him and that side of the family through Facebook and, eavesdropping on conversations. So what happened was that, they encouraged me to come out and to see them and to see what life was about over there. And I said, at first I was scared because my mom did not want us talking to him whatsoever because of her feelings about him and whatnot, and just things that went on with her and them that just were not good. And so, unfortunately, before I went out there, I ended up getting into an argument and a fight with my mom and my grandma, and I ended up moving out of the house and moving in with my grandma and staying with her for 2 weeks up until I moved out there to North Las Vegas. So, what happened was that we ended up, my cousin and I, who I went on the plane ride with, we ended up going over to my aunt's house and living with her and her family and my dad and my sister in that house. To make a long story short, I loved Las Vegas for what it was. I did go to the strip. I did go to different parts of Las Vegas that a lot of people have seen on TV. Being on the strip is amazing. I saw the Wynn Hotel. I saw the MGM Grand Hotel and Casino that Tupac Shakur was at when the Mike Tyson fight went out on the night that he died. I did get on the bus. And the thing I loved about Las Vegas's transportation system was you can use their buses 24/7. And they also have affordable passes. The pass range was $5 for a 24-hour ride. And then it went up to maybe 15, then 30, then 60 for a month 24-hour pass. So, I'm like, okay, this is what it is. I love it. And I got on the buses whenever I could and toured the town. And I had a lot of fun. As far as the weather is concerned, Las Vegas was very, very hot. Their heat is very different from Winston-Salem type of heat. Our heat has more moisture to it. So when you get hot out here, you'll get muggy, grimy, and clammy and whatnot and sweaty. But out there, you'll die from a heat stroke. Because their air is very dry. It's a desert land. It's very mountainous, and the mountains were very, very beautiful everywhere you went in Las Vegas. Even when we would get in the car, leave the house, and drive down the street, the image as you went down the street was mountaintops, and it was as if you were riding into the mountains. It was very beautiful, very pretty, and I loved it. Let's see. Yeah, the heat was awful. I mean, I love Las Vegas, the air, the West Coast living, and the breeze, and the chill, and the serene feeling that it gave me. I loved it. I felt like I was at so much peace in Las Vegas with the air and the atmosphere and the mountains and whatever, and I loved it. And and it was pretty much, it was cool for what it was. And let's see, what else did I leave out? I did go to some very interesting restaurants when I was in Las Vegas. I went to El Pollo Loco, which I'd always heard about but never really went to. Their food is like the authentic version of Chipotle. Chipotle is really manufactured Tex-Mex food, but when you go to El Pollo Loco, their food is amazing. The other places that I went to one Mexican seafood restaurant called Las Islitas. I loved it because the food was very authentic. I had this plate called Plato Coco where I had shredded coconut and I had a big coconut bowl filled with octopus and shrimp. And I think the dish in there was ceviche. And then I had a big glass of coconut water. It was so amazing and wonderful. The inside of the restaurant was very beautiful, and I love the fact that the waitresses in there could not speak English and only spoke Spanish, so I could finally speak Spanish with a breeze and not having to feel, weird or awkward being around people who don't speak Spanish and, having to interpret or whatever. So I loved it. I took many walks around the town. To anybody who's ever visited Las Vegas is a very multi-ethnic city. You'll find Chinese people there, Puerto Rican people there, Black people there, Filipino people there. You'll find Mexican, Guatemalan, Cuban, Venezuelan. You'll find everybody out there. And they even had like a sizable Ethiopian population that was there as well. And even when you went to these different ethnic communities at the towns, you would see signs in Chinese, you would see church signs in Chinese, you would see building signs in Amharic, which is a language that they speak in Ethiopia. You would see signs in Spanish, signs in English. It was amazing. And I even love the adobe Spanish style houses with the Spanish tile roofs and the adobe walls that the houses were made out of, the palm trees that was blooming out of the ground. It really made me feel like I was living a dream on TV. Because you know how you see movies, especially on the West Coast, like with Menace to Society and Baby Boy and any other movies that took place in the West Coast. You know how they would cruise in the low riders and cruise in the rooftop down cars, through the streets of LA, see the palm trees sprouting up in the long roads. Even though Las Vegas was not Los Angeles. And the good thing about Las Vegas is that it's only 4 hours away driving distance from Los Angeles. So they weren't too far apart. And that's what I really love about Las Vegas. So a lot of you may be wondering why I chose to come back. So backstory, I'm not going to tell too much of my business in this video, but I went out there to live because I had made it up in my mind that I wanted to leave everything in Winston-Salem behind, good, bad, and the ugly. And I wanted to go out there to North Las Vegas and start a new life. And unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. So to make a long story short, I'm going to detail as much as I can what happened. So I went to live with my aunt and it was a catastrophe. The house was nasty. I was very disrespected, talked about in my face, talked about behind my back, made to feel like I was less than, wasn't defended by my father nor my sister. I tried to be there for them. I tried to be there for everybody. And I really tried to help out the conflict that was going on between my aunt and my dad in the house. And it just really, really hurt me because they made it seem like they wanted me to be there with them and they wanted me to learn them for who they were and they wanted to get to know me and really be interested in me and really see me for who I was and what I was about. And it just crushed my soul. It crushed my soul because here I was getting to know the side of my family that I had pretty much been shunned from, and come to find out that they hated me. They hated me. They really didn't love me. They really didn't like me. They really didn't want to see me for who I was. And it broke my heart, because here I was being 23 years old. I was 23 years old. I'm 24 now. And, I was being an adult pretty much. And unfortunately, that side of the family had been scarred so much by abuse. And this is where my feelings come from when it comes to parents abusing their children. A lot of y'all heard how I felt about the DeBarge parents when their parents sat there and let them get abused all those years. This side of my family was abused by their mother, my grandmother, her, and her husbands. And due to them being abused so bad, it formed their characteristics as people, and they would come out at different increments and at different time frames while I was there. I was never hit. I was never struck with anything, but I was berated. My grandmother, she would literally talk at us and taunt us and chew us up and spit us out in front of everybody, make us feel like we were dirt, make us feel like we were less than or nothing. And everybody there just took it. You know, we were made, mainly myself and my dad and my sister were made to feel like the outsiders, the outcasts, the people who wasn't worth anything. You know, you're coming here to live with us, you're coming here to eat off of us, you're not worth anything because you don't have nowhere to go, you don't have nowhere to stay, nobody wants you. And that's really how it felt there. And this is my first time publicly speaking about this because I feel like I have the right to speak how I want to speak on my channel and even as a person. And I have a right to voice my opinion. And I really do not care if anybody from that side of the family sees this video or hears about this video, because if you try to message me, or if you try to call me, even try to talk to people in Winston-Salem about me in this video, I do not care, because what I'm saying in this video is true. Everything that happened there, it happened, and everything that you did to me, you did to me. And you really deserve to have this told on you. You can't sue me. You can't bring any type of legal measures against me. You can't call the police on me. And you certainly can't get me for defamation of character, because if everything that I'm saying is true and I have witnesses that can comply with that, then you have no case against me. And even if the witnesses choose to back down because you're their sister and their mother, then oh well, I'll stand by myself and be alone in this, because as long as I got me, that's all that matters. But to continue on with the story, I was berated. I was berated for the personal things that I went through with men and how I had confided in them, and everything that I had confided in them was blown up in my face. I was made to feel less than, because you know how you have those family members who are the favorite ones and the pretty ones and the ones that got all the attention growing up. Pretty much had to put up with them getting all the attention, all the praise, them not being berated, them not being touched, and them not being hurt. And then not only that, but I also had to deal with a sister that was favored. And yeah, I'm finna tell all your business right now on my channel. As far as my father is concerned, you should be very ashamed of yourself. You are a sorry excuse for a father. And I'm saying this with every might in me. I don't care if you cry. I don't care if your feelings are hurt. And I don't care what you have to say about this. I am so glad you never raised me as your daughter. And I'm so glad I never grew up with you. And I'm so glad that I don't even claim you as my father anymore. And I'm so glad I don't even claim the rest of that family anymore because of what you did. You sat there and let your mother berate me and talk about me like I was gutter trash, and you sat there and said nothing. And then you had the nerve to try to brainwash me in the car when we would get away from the house and be with other people, to try to think like you, talk like you, be on your side. I don't have to be like you, and I don't want to be like you. You poor excuse for a human being. You were a grown man, didn't want to work, didn't want to do this, didn't want to do that. And then you were raising your other daughter as your wife, having her fix your food, having her do this and having her to do that. And then not only that, she even slept with her boyfriend in your sister's house and didn't even tell you, and didn't and told me. But at the same time, I got berated because when I left, I didn't lock the door, and they acted like that was such a big sin when they could have just came behind me and locked the door. Or you pretty much could have said, oh, well, she's leaving out. Oh, well, she's doing this. Oh, well, she's doing that. But you didn't. You sat there and you were quiet. Even that time when I left and I told you where I was going, when I was out on the town, you know, dancing and sightseeing and doing whatever, you could have defended me. You could have killed every bit of drama that happened in the house as a man, but you didn't. And then y'all sit up here and say I'm strong and I'm this and I'm that. Yes, I'm strong, but I don't wear this strength as a badge of honor. The reason why I have such cold-hearted feelings about family members sometimes, especially when they do you dirty, is because out of everybody in this world that should do you wrong should not be a family member. Y'all claim to be so for family and so like, oh, how the Hispanics like to have 10, 15 people up in the house when you had almost those amount of people in the house and you treated them like dirt. Now, how does that feel? And then at the same thing, Auntie, the one who made all the money, the one who's a director of sales, and the one who's so about it, how can you sit up here and claim you have all this money? You couldn't keep your refrigerator full. You couldn't keep money in there. And then on top of that, you wanted us paying for your stuff with food stamps that you made us get because you wouldn't even buy food for us to eat. Yeah, how do you like that for somebody telling your business and you being about it and you walking around your house acting like you big and bad and better than everybody, but making us feel like we're slaves? You deserve every amount of comments that's coming through this video today and forevermore. All I can say is that when I was in your house, I had nobody to turn to but God. And yes, I did talk about God when I was in that house and how some of that stuff I saw in that house was ungodly. But oh, you and your mama thought that, oh, we Christian. Oh, my daddy, your granddaddy was a pastor in the church. He taught us about God. Then y'all start playing gospel music. Then y'all start talking about God all behind my back and how God this and God that, trying to top my Jesus because you felt funny that you came from a church going family, but you wasn't living so godly. But then you got mad when your granddaughter and your niece was trying to live godly, making you feel bad about how you lived. So yeah, you know what? I've even forgiven y'all, and I pretty much have gotten over the fact of everything that went wrong in that house. But you don't know, you caused trauma on me. It took me a while to get over the stuff that you did. And you know you were wrong and you know you were dirty for what you did. And then even you had the nerve to tell your mama and your grandma that I didn't want nothing to do with y'all, so that when I came back over to our house, I had to deal with another fiasco and another scenario that happened where they try to tell it like it is and tell me what's what and what everything to make sure that they hurt me and stab me in my back before I left the house. And you know what? And then you even had the nerve to text me when your grandmother died. And you know what? And I've kind of found it funny that she died almost a year to the day of me leaving y'all sorry tales. And that should have told you something. And you know, I really do hope that with her dying, because a lot of that crap y'all went through, it started with her. And I hope that by her dying, that made y'all better. That y'all saw how life is short and that y'all saw how life should really be. And that y'all actually saw how you should really treat people. Because I'm going to tell you this, if you really loved me, you would have shown it. If you really wanted to be there for me, you would have been there for me. And if you really cared about me, you wouldn't hurt me the way that you did. And this is why I feel the way that I do about family. I don't care who hurt you before me. I don't care what you went through. You have no right to take that mess out on anybody else, especially if they didn't do nothing to you. And then on top of that, y'all had to be catty and petty enough to sit up there and have y'all's kids eavesdropping on us, talking about y'all in the house. We had every right to talk about y'all in that house. Because how do you think we felt when we was treated like dirt and talked about behind our backs, and y'all act like we were supposed to sit there and take that mess? And then we couldn't even talk about it, but we had to sit up there and deal with y'all talking about us on the phone, then telling y'all sorry mama that she flying out there acting like she the queen bee, trying to put everybody in their place. But you know what? Vengeance is mine, says the Lord. So I'm gonna let him handle the vengeance that should really come on y'all for the stuff that y'all did. But the only thing that I'm gonna say is that this whole situation, it made me better. It taught me a lot about self-respect. It taught me a lot about self-love. But at the same time, it taught me how to carry myself. But it also taught me how to treat people. Because you know what, Auntie, that I don't even claim anymore? You may be the director of sales, but I'm going to be the director of something. And I'll be a better director than you have ever been in your entire life. And then you had the nerve to sit up and try to compare me and you because I was a go-getter and did what I wanted to do and stuff like that. But at the same time, I didn't have a heart like you. I didn't have no sorry heart like you did and just taking care of people, trying to be the good Samaritan, all for attention. I don't do stuff like that. But all I'm saying is that you better believe I'm going to reach the top and I'm going to be the best that I could be. And it's going to be better than it's ever been before. Because one thing I will say that y'all did, y'all took my opportunities from me. When I was out there, I was winning. 2 weeks from me living in Las Vegas, I got accepted into a university, got a job, then even got a higher paying job after I had to leave that job because that old sorry boss kept getting at me about the silliest little stuff. And it's like I tried being there for everybody, tried talking for everybody. And then I even tried doing what was best, but you and your sorry mama thought y'all knew best by coming in trying to mess stuff up and make everybody think like y'all and be like y'all and whatever. Y'all are not the cream of the crop, and no, you were not good people. In the beginning, I started liking y'all, but then when I saw how y'all was, yeah, I quit calling y'all. I quit trying to talk to you and everything. Then you try to get me to tell stuff about my dad and my sister that you should have found out for yourself, so that was your house and you was paying bills there. So it's like everything that happened to me was I was out there, it taught me a lot, but at the same time, I'm gonna get what's mine. You better believe I am gonna come back to Las Vegas. And the thing is, it's always been in me to move back to Las Vegas because I was born and raised in Winston-Salem. I grew up here. I have a lot of memories here. But Las Vegas as a city was good to me because it taught me so much about life, and I actually felt comfortable being Black and having people of other races treat me as a human being. And then by me speaking Spanish, people not thinking it's so weird that I speak Spanish or whatever, because people don't know that by being Black and speaking Spanish and being so into other cultures, how I've been treated, let alone by this sorry family at that. And that's another thing I'm going to touch on. By me speaking Spanish, people, especially Americans, have, Black and white people, I mean, have stuck it to me or made me feel like I thought I was better than everybody because I spoke Spanish and I always got good grades in Spanish classes. And then y'all sorry butts try to put me in my place, trying to tell me how to be Black instead of trying to cook chalupas like you said and trying to cook Mexican food. But every husband you had was racially ambiguous or wasn't even Black. So you tell me about somebody who likes being Black and enjoys being Black when you made sure every one of your kids and grandkids was mixed with something that wasn't Black. Now, how you like that? And so you can't sit up here and try to tell me that I'm not proud to be Black and that I'm not a Black woman when I've always said I was Black. When I could have lied and said I was Puerto Rican or Dominican or Mexican, like a lot of people try to make me be, to make them feel comfortable that instead of me being fully Black, since a lot of people think that Black people are so ignorant and can't speak Spanish, that it would put them more at ease that I must have learned it from my Hispanic friends or that I was somehow some type of Hispanic. And so you as a family, y'all don't understand how much y'all hurt me, how much y'all ripped my heart, and how much y'all did to me. But you know what? I'm going to let my life speak for itself, and I'm going to let my work speak for itself, because vengeance is mine, says the Lord. So I'm going to let him handle all that stuff that's going on against y'all. But at the same time, I'm going to get what's mine, because y'all were nothing but demons and devils. Y'all did nothing but try to hold me back, try to get me to not be better than anybody, or try to tear up my self-esteem and rip my heart out and do all this crazy stuff to me. But you know what? I don't care about it, because while y'all was sitting up in the house being jealous of me and hating on me and whatever, when I came back to Winston-Salem, I still was on my feet. I was doing what I needed to do. I had a job at McDonald's, didn't like that. Had a job here, had a job there, and I saved up my money and I spent it well. And even now, I got a full-time job with full benefits that's paying me more than any job I've ever had, and I'm on the brink of getting a car. So y'all thought y'all could kill me and y'all could break me because y'all was jealous of me, but you really made me better. Because I'm going to always come out on top, because I don't care what anybody has to say. You could be mean and spiteful and hateful and vengeful all you want to, but at the end of the day, that stuff is going to come back to bite you. I've had so many people try to kill my heart and kill my spirit, call me ugly, fat, and dark, and nigger, and this, that, and the third. But I didn't let it kill me. I still got up on my feet, and I still did what I was supposed to do, and still doing it. And no, I'm not perfect by far, because I do have problems from time to time with depression, where sometimes I could just lay around and just be in my zone and just be out of it. When I say I'm in my zone, for the people that's going to correct me by not making sense like you did in the last video, when I'm just in my zone of trying to deal with this depression, it freezes me. But I have to keep pushing myself day by day, and that really is thanks to y'all. I really wish that I could have had a beautiful moment in Las Vegas with y'all, but I didn't. Living in that house was nothing but hell on earth, and I know good and well y'all gonna try to find something against me. Y'all gonna try to find stuff to pit me with, and y'all gonna try to find stuff that's really gonna do me in. But you know what? You can say whatever you want to say to about me because God has forgiven me for that stuff already. But what about y'all? Because that same woman that y'all love to call Big Mama and this and that started all that mess, I wonder where her soul is. If she didn't ask God for forgiveness, and that should bother y'all, and that should really make y'all think. Because I don't care what anybody else says about God or whatever, and I don't know if the people on my channel believe in God or whatever, but I do. When we all die, no matter who you believe in, you're going to see God. And God is going to judge you on the life that you live, whether you lived it for Him, for yourself, or for somebody else. And when it's all said and done, that Bible says you either going to inherit the kingdom of God or your soul is going to be tossed in the lake of fire. And when Jesus comes back on earth to walk and save those souls that died, I mean, not souls that died, but the souls that are remaining here believing in Him, they're going to go up with Him. But the people that's in hell, when Jesus come back, hell is going to be tossed up and tossed into a lake of fire, and it's going to disintegrate. And those people who was in hell, there'll be no more. And it was as if your soul didn't matter while it was here on earth, and it was as if your life didn't matter while it was here on earth. And so and I know that this was a lot for my subscribers to take in and a lot for my subscribers to see, but this was really on my heart. It was. And I did this video not to bash anybody and not to purpose to curse anybody or anything like that, but I did this to be an inspiration to somebody, because even though y'all tried to make me feel low for not being a mother, for not having my own apartment, for not having my own car, and to seek y'all for help, I'm actually going to be a help to somebody else, because you don't treat people like that. When people depend on you and when people look to you for help, you don't kick them down and make them feel less than, and then you get jealous when they get on their feet. And then when they get higher than you ever got in your life, you don't do stuff like that. You don't treat people like that. And so to close off this video, I love Las Vegas for what it was. Las Vegas was a beautiful city. Yes, they do have Chippendales that everybody heard about on the Parker show. They did have El Pollo Loco. They had Jack in the Box. I ate Jack in the Box. Jack in the Box is like a knockoff version of Wendy's. It was nasty and it was not good. They had this delicious Venezuelan restaurant called Viva la Arepa, and it was so good. I used to eat there all the time because my favorite arepa that I ate there was called Reina Prepiada, and it had like avocado, some type of avocado mixture in it with the chicken, and it was so good. Then I had a black bean version, and then I had another one. I'm gonna get my menu to show y'all about this other dish that I had. Okay, so here is the menu for the restaurant called Viva, I'm going to correct myself, Viva las Arepas, which means long live the arepas. To those of you who don't know what arepas is pretty much made of cornmeal, the bread part is, and it's like a little cornmeal patty, and they slit it and they pretty much stuff it with meat, cheese, or different mixtures that they have, and it's very good. I do know that Venezuelans and Colombians eat it mostly. I've only had the Venezuelan kind, but I never had the Colombian kind, and I do want to try the Colombian kind. So the arepa that I had, and this is the menu to those of you who are interested in visiting Viva las Arepas in Las Vegas. They have the menu side in Spanish, and then they have it in English. And pretty much what I had the arepa, the Reina Prepiada kind. No, not prepiada. Let me correct myself again. Reina pepiada, which is chicken breast, avocado, mayo, and cilantro. And it was so good, and it was $6. And then I had the cachapa. That's what it was called. The cachapa, the other one I had. The cachapa was like a sweet kernel corn sandwich that had like white cheese in the middle. It was a little greasy, but it was so good. And then for the dessert, I had the, let's see, what did I have for dessert? Oh, a pastelito. Yes, I had one pastelito that had coconut and cheese in it, also good. And then I had this Venezuelan soda called Frescolita. It was not good at all. I almost threw up drinking that. It tasted like a mix of bubble gum and strawberries and soda pop. I just couldn't. I had to pour it out. I remember when I was there. It just was not that good to me. Let's see, what else did I eat here? The only thing that I could remember that I had was the Reina Pepiada Arepa, and I had the pastelito, the cheese, and coconut. I should have tried the tequeño, but I wasn't thinking about that because tequeños, which are like cheese sticks in Venezuela, are very popular and very well known. Because I remember at this one Hispanic church I went to, there was this Venezuelan boy I used to always talk to, and he would tell me about different Venezuelan foods. And he told me about the tequeño. And let's see, what else did I have? I never did eat an empanada, and that was pretty much all I ate when I was there. And then they had this Puerto Rican restaurant that was down the way, not too long from there. Then they had this mall called the Fashion Mall, y'all. And this mall was like bling bling ka-ching type of mall. It had Gucci, it had Fendi, it had Balenciaga. I mean, all that stuff y'all see the Migos wearing with them fur shoes, the animals on it, and them little poof balls that people be wearing, and the little Fendis with the F on it and stuff. I saw all of that stuff, and it was shining, it was bling bling, and it was immaculate and everything. And I loved it. I loved being in that mall, and I loved seeing the amount of clothes and jewelry and fashion that was in that mall. And the fashion mall was on the strip because you had the fashion mall, and I mean the strip area is pretty big, so I won't be able to tell y'all everything in complete detail, word for word, verbatim or verbatim, but I could just tell you the things that stood out to me. Then they had this museum called the Mob Museum. I didn't get a chance to go into the Mob Museum because I ran out of money at that time. But it was amazing. The Mob Museum, they talked about Al Capone, and they talked about all the other mob kings like John Gotti and Al Capone and some of the other mob kings, in history that we know of. And they had this really pretty park called what park was it? I can't really think of the park that I went to. You know what? Let me actually look it up while I'm talking to y'all. Let's see. Parks in North Las Vegas. And to those of you who are wondering about Las Vegas has a north, south, east, and west. I lived in North Las Vegas, and I lived in Clark County. That's where I lived. And Clark County has tons of restaurants, tons of wedding chapels, because it is true that people do go to Las Vegas to get married. Because when you go to any major part of Las Vegas, especially North Las Vegas, you will see a wedding chapel. And some of these places are huge like churches, and some of them are really small like storefront stores. And they do have a large Hispanic population out there. They have a large Filipino population out there because one of the three main languages spoken in North Las Vegas, and I believe Las Vegas as a whole, is English, Spanish, and Tagalog. And Tagalog is another form of Filipino which is spoken in the Philippines. Well, it's not another form of Filipino. I know that Tagalog is sometimes called Filipino, but it is a language that's spoken in the Philippines. And they also had a large Hawaiian population in Las Vegas, because I have read that a lot of people from Hawaii, for whatever reason, are seen as are seeing Las Vegas as a second home to them, because when I toured the university I got accepted into was UNLV. There were a lot of Polynesian people there. There were a lot of Southeast Asians there. You also had a lot of Chinese people that were in the city. Didn't really see too many Korean people, but I did see a lot of Filipinos that lived there. I didn't see a lot of Indians in Las Vegas. I just saw them here and there, but I do know they had different churches. I mean, you had all types of denominational churches out there. I did see a Hindu temple that we passed by one time when we were riding through the neighborhood. Their schools are huge. They look like, CEO buildings to me. And the weather out there, like I mentioned before, it was hot and, Okay, so I found the name of the park. It was called Craig Ranch Regional Park. That park, y'all, it is very beautiful. They have a pond. They have all types of wildlife, all types of flora and fauna. And it's just a very peaceful place to go. I remember we used to go there and visit, and it was just a very beautiful place to see. But to close off this video, I will say that North Las Vegas was an amazing place to me. And the plans that I have is, from moving back to Winston-Salem, North Carolina, a lot of the stuff I dealt with before, it got resolved, it got smoothed out, and it got repaired. But I just really feel it in my heart to get everything that I was supposed to get here before I left, like the medical interpretation certification, my associate's degree, which I am pursuing, traveling to Puerto Rico, Hawaii, Las Vegas, Miami, and Texas, and even the Philippines, and a lot of those other countries that I wanted to visit, and even fulfilling my purpose of being a minister, being a teacher, and being a lot of other things that I know I should be for God before I move back out there. Because I know that even though I only saw 2 months worth of North Las Vegas, I know that my life was supposed to complete there. And I wasn't pushed out of the house or anything, but I had to leave before it got worse, because I saw how that situation was not going to get any better. And I saw myself suffering so bad when I was out there. And so by me retreating and coming back, I've been able to collect my thoughts and really see what I needed to do for me as far as here. But I do know that once I've done everything that I'm supposed to do here in Winston and wherever else I'm supposed to go, that I do need to move back to North Las Vegas and complete my life and my mission that I was supposed to, that I had to leave, and that was pretty much taken from me because of my family members. So I hope you all like this video. I hope you all could relate to this video. And I really hope that I inspired and I encouraged someone with this video. So don't forget to like, leave a comment, and subscribe to my channel. Have a good day.